So first I am starting with the Anastasia Beverly Hills pomade, and it's in the color dark brown, and I'm just basically underlining the bottom of my brows and then going toward the tail end. I'm creating the shape that I want, so it's not really precise or anything. I'm just kind of like filling it in boldly, and I'll clean it up with my concealer in the end. But right now I'm just filling them in using light short strokes, and then, you know, toward the end of my brows you can tell that I'm definitely applying more pressure. I'm starting in at the beginning of my brows, but I'm not adding any product to my brush. I'm literally just using what's left over to create that nice gradient effect. And then I am taking my spoolie and I am brushing through them to make sure the product is evenly distributed and not cakey on my brows. And then I will just do the other brow. I'm applying a little bit more product just to deepen my brows. Like, I like really bold brows, like I said. I call them my Instagram brows. Chia. Now I'm taking LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Cool Tan. Yes, Cool Tan. And basically what I'm doing is, any mistakes I made, I'm carving out the mistakes and carving the shape of my brow. So this is really where you get the most definition in your brows, and you really change the overall shape that they have. And that's why you don't have to be super precise when you're filling them in, if you're going to use a concealer to clean them up. And the concealer I'm using is lighter than my skin tone. It's also warmer than my skin tone. It has like a little peachy undertone to it. But I love to use this because it goes with the foundation that I'll be using today. So and as I finish up those brows, I'm now grabbing my Laura Mercier Radiance Primer. I got this as a sample in one of my Sephora hauls, and so I'm just trying this out, and I like it. I don't know, you guys can tell me if you really see a radiance to my skin, but I could definitely tell that it looked a little more dewy, especially after I applied it. And now I am taking an orange corrector concealer, and I'm using the one from Girl Pro. The color orange cancels out any dark circles or dark hues, and because I have a lot of hyperpigmentation on my face from previous acne breakouts, and because I'm a mommy and a student, I have dark eyes sometimes. And so I like to use this concealer just to make a totally flawless canvas. And it also prevents me from having to put on so much foundation. And then I'm grabbing my beloved Fenty Beauty. Fenty. I mean, Rihanna did her thing. Everyone loves this foundation. Well, not everyone, but I do. It's a great foundation. I've been using it for like everyday wear. Like if I'm just like, you know, going here and there. And it seems to work great. Before I apply it, I'm actually going to spray some rose water on my face. And so I'm in the color 390. And the color 390, you'll notice, is a little bit more warm than my skin tone. It leans more yellow in pigment, and I am a mix of both red and yellow. So red and yellow pigments, which kind of make a neutral tone. I also have some olivey tones in there. So like I said, it's just something I can work out with all of my concealer and everything. But I'm taking a BH Cosmetic brush and just stippling it on my face. Is so good for coverage. Like, oh my gosh, it's my favorite brush. Yes, even better than the Beauty Blender. I haven't used the Beauty Blender in so long now. So yeah, that was one pump, and now I'm going in with just a couple more dots of foundation. I wouldn't even call it a half a pump, but just to cover those areas that I didn't really get to. And now I am taking my other beloved, and it is my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the color Tan Sand. And Tan Sand honestly is like low-key a little too light for me, but I don't know, I just make it work because my foundation is so warm, and when I mix it in, it kind of like, you know, balances out, like I said. And I also use a very small amount of it, so that helps. And this stuff is so amazing. It covers all of my dark circles, and it just makes for a really flawless finish. So I am sold on Tarte Shape Tape, although shame on you guys for your last foundation launch. Y'all know y'all need some new shades. So I'm and just to balance out the under eye highlight with the rest of my face. And by the way, the brush that I'm using is a Sigma F63 concealer brush, I believe. If not, I will leave the correct details on that in the description box. And one of my favorite tricks to kind of making the foundation and the concealer melt together is to take my foundation brush with the leftover product and just kind of stipple around where I could put the concealer. So that's what you're seeing me do with that foundation brush. I'm just kind of making the two blend together. So now I'm taking my Mercier setting powder, and I believe it's just in the standard translucent color, and I'm shaking some out on a brush, and then I'm just patting the brush into that area that I just highlighted. Oh, I just had so much going in my nose. But yeah, I'm just taking that and patting it in. I don't necessarily bake any, especially in the wintertime. I don't really bake. In the summertime I may, but sometimes I don't even do it in the summertime. I just find that it gives me a really flawless finish when I do it this way. So yeah, I just pat it into my skin. I was trying to find the number of the brush, and it was number 3 was on the brush, and it's just from BH Cosmetics, but it's a really good brush. It's a good fluffy brush. And I'm just brushing any excess away. Then I'm going to take my Anastasia Buttercup powder in a second, and I'm going to, over top of the Mercier, I'm just going to take and just dust that to warm up the translucent. I love the yellow tones. It balances out the warmness of my foundation and just gives me an overall like even more flawless finish. So now I'm taking my concealer palette from BH Cosmetics, which I absolutely love, and it is powder. I do not cream contour on a daily basis. I save that for special events and serious stuff. But I am just buffing the powder, the second to last color in the dark palette, and just working it into my cheekbones and downward. And then I'm going to do the other cheek as well and work it all the way downward. I don't like bring it to my lips. I bring it down. I like the contrast it creates on my face, and so it just gives me a nice, I don't know, chiseled look. Now I'm also doing my forehead. I'm also going to just buff that in, and then I'm also going to do my chin, or around my chin, my jawline, excuse me, and chin area. You can definitely tell that my face is getting more defined and chiseled as opposed to before. I'm also dusting a bit under my lip. I started doing this a while ago. It gives my lips the appearance of being fuller, and in pictures it looks really good. So, you know, I don't know. I'm also going to go down the sides of my nose. I'm using a Sigma Precision brush. I don't remember the number, but I'll put it in the description box. And it's really good brush for blending things out. So that's what I'm using it for. Defining my cheeks a little more. I am whipping out my beloved. You know, a lot of these things are my beloved. They're things I use every day. This is my Morphe Dare to Create palette, and I absolutely love it. I am buffing the lightest transition shade over my lid. Yeah, they have a whole row of transition shades, which is like, yes. Morphe, you better do that. And Morphe also made this like melanin girl friendly, you feel me? Because these pigments are very, very pigmented. I mean, they have a lot of color to them, and they're not ashy. Like, there's no ashy shades. Like, the shade I'm using is the ashiest shade, but it's not even ashy enough for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is something that I absolutely love to use to control the pigments because it's so bright, you know? I'm picking out another brush. I don't know the name of the brush I was just using. I know this one is from Morphe, and I'm using that very, see, I wasn't sure what I was going to use, but I'm using that rusty red color, and I'm just going to lightly tap that. And look at this pigment that comes from just lightly tapping it. I just think that's amazing. Yeah, so taking that dark purple hue, I am working it on the outer V, and I'm going to work it on the inside of my crease, which is very small. I don't have much of a crease. I have slightly hooded eyes. They're not all the way hooded, just a slight hood. So I have to kind of practice different ways to do my makeup. Yeah, I'll be doing more tutorials on hooded eyes. Using that same fluffy brush, I'm dipping it into my dark black shade that's in the Dare to Create palette. And I'm just working that on the outer V of my eye and just on the inner part of my crease, but stopping about a quarter of the way. And I'm aiming for this very, I guess like blown out, winged shape. And then I am taking a Real Techniques brush and I am blending out that shadow very, very well. And taking a flat Morphe brush, I am dipping that into the very first shade that I used, and I am patting that all over the lid. And essentially what I'm doing is carving out kind of a C shape and making a very diffused soft cut crease look. Pack that color on. And then I'm just going to take a small liner brush, dip it into that dark black shadow, and apply it to my lash line like an eyeliner. Except this creates like a more diffused and soft look. And I'm going to do that for both eyes. Hold up. I got to jam real quick. And then I'm going to take the same colors I used on my eyes. So that purple shade and the rusty red shade. And then I'm putting those close to my lash line on the bottom lashes. And then I'm finishing with that very light transition shade to create like a gradient and smoky effect. Now I'm taking my BH Cosmetic blush palette and I'm using the blue tone pink color. It's a very light shade of pink, and I am dusting that all over my cheeks using my BH Cosmetic fan brush, which is amazing and soft. But first, I'm going to take my Colourpop Supershock highlighter in the color Candyman. And I'm also going to mix it later with Colourpop Wisp to get my perfect super blingin' cheek highlight. And then after I line my lips with NYX Espresso Slim Pencil, I am taking NYX Lip Lingerie and just putting it in the center of my lips and patting it all around. And that color is Lace Detail. And to top it off, I am going to use NYX Buttergloss in the color Gingersnap. Alright, my little blessed beauties, that was my very first video. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, stay blessed and stay beautiful.